The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
The Robotron gets excited and says it's ready to finish the Rangers off. I forgot like half of that taken in the middle. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. I've made no secret of the fact that I'm a little down on Beast Morphers as of late. Last week's episode is going to have its chance to contend for the worst episode of the 2 seasons when I do my postseason wrap-up. But, my viewers interjected, the next episode is the Silva Switch. They told me that this episode contains a moment, a singular moment that makes all of the non-plot shenanigans of the past couple of weeks worth it. We'll just see about that, won't we? Let's take a look at the 16th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, the Silva Switch.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see all of our videos.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we post any brand new videos.
Right you. What he said was that if you'd like to support the channel in any way financially, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at OrangeRangerVideos.
Right you. The episode starts at Grid Battle Force, where we get another look at that really weird ice cream vending machine. Again, to be clear for anybody who's not familiar with it or doesn't remember it, this is not an ice cream vending machine that sells ice cream sandwiches, or even those ice cream cones that are already pre-frozen and all wrapped up in cardboard and everything. This is a vending machine where you put in coins, and it gives you a fresh cone, freshly filled with delicious ice cream.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
You know it's an ORV episode review when I spend one entire take talking about an ice cream machine before I've even unpaused the episode. So, why is the ice cream machine important? Because Nate goes to get some ice cream. Steel asks if he can have one just to hold, just to feel that little bit closer to being human. Nate agrees, but this actually backfires. Having the ice cream just reminds Steel that he can't eat it because he's not human. Nate feels bad and decides to reveal a little surprise to Steel early. As the ice cream drips down Steel's fingers, an essential part of the human experience, I think, Nate shows him something that he's had Ben and Betty working on in the lab, a new morph machine that can make Steel fully human. Steel is of course elated, but Nate backs him down a little bit. The machine doesn't work yet. They would need far too much Morph-X for the neural aligners to be able to handle. And hey, did you think my mentioning that melting ice cream was just to point out a sight gag? The melting ice cream gets into Steel's arm and shorts it out, causing his hand to pop off and to become a gremlin again. It flies over to the console and activates the machine, with Nate and Steel conveniently standing in 2 of the positions. As the other Rangers run in, the morph sequence takes place, but after the Morph-X clears, everything seems fine. Zoe runs over to Nate and hugs him, glad that he's okay, until he says that he's actually Steel. That's right, Nate and Steel have switched bodies. Steel gets to be a human right now and is of course elated, but Nate says that they have to switch right back. Molecular decay is a danger to their bodies in this state, which is something that really doesn't make sense, seeing as only thing that has happened is that consciousnesses have switched places. Steel whines that he hasn't even gotten to do anything as a human. Steel, it's not like we took you to Disney World and didn't let you ride anything. This was an accident. But Nate, understandingly, says that Steel can have 1 day using his body before they have to switch back. Of course, this is when Blaze attacks with a Robotron. Nate says that they are able to fight like this, and they head out.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Blaze and the Robotron have stolen 2 barrels of Morph-X, not having escaped the scene yet because they're trying to move the barrels by hand instead of just, teleporting away. I mean, for goodness sake, at least summon some Tronics or something. After the opener and the ads, we get a pretty nice unmorphed fight. The key to this fight, of course, is seeing Nate and Steel fight in each other's bodies. Steel seems to do wonderfully with Nate's smaller, more agile frame, but Nate has difficulty with Steel's bulkier, larger robot body. Some gun blasts from the main three chase the bad guys away without the Morph-X. The Rangers decide to head back to base to report the attack. Steel asks if after that they can go surfing, since he won't sink in the water now. Nate says that surfing sounds like fun, but uh-oh, Steel's body needs a maintenance check, so no surfing for Nate. Womp womp. How could this happen to me? At the Riptide Gym, Steel regales Nate about his surfing day of fun, and oh, hi, human Roxy. I was actually really glad to see her because the story doesn't focus on her, but it's good to know that she's still around and she still exists. Hey, how's human Blaze, by the way? Betting we're not going to see any of Robo-Roxy in this episode because it seems like we always get one or the other when it comes to the humans and the robos.
Get on with it!
Get on with this, you bearded... Steel then orders every smoothie on the menu, all 6 of them, sucking down in one sip a broccoli smoothie that for some reason they have on a menu of only 6 smoothies. He declares that being a human is absolutely amazing, getting up on top of the table and screaming it out loud for the entire gym to hear. And then, the moment that all of you were waiting for. If you have not seen this episode yet, I swear on my honor that this actually happened, and if I didn't care about my channel's monetization, I'd just throw in the entire clip, not just screen caps, the video, the audio, all of it to prove it to you. This episode comes to a screeching halt to do a 2-minute Broadway musical number called It's Great to Be Human. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube to see the proof there as well, where Steel sings about all the wonderful things that humans can do. The entire cast is involved and goes through multiple costume changes, and hey, shut my mouth, I guess, because human Blaze even shows up for a second. As I wrote these words in the script, I had the final shot of the sequence, the big duh moment, paused with about 30 people on screen between the main cast and all the background dancers and everything.
What happened?
Don't get me wrong, I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. I'm not even mad. Usually when I say stuff like the episode screeches to a halt, I'm really upset about that. I can't be mad about this. I can't hate it. First of all, Power Rangers once again shows this bizarrely incredible talent for writing original music. I've seen fans on Twitter today begging for a clean and 100% legal rip of this song, somewhere like Spotify, etc. It's choreographed very well. The actors were giving 100%, and you can just see on their faces that they were having so much fun with this sequence.
Who knows? Not me. Who cares? Ditto mark.
Okay. Somehow, some way, we've got to move on. Oddly, right after this, we get a sequence that we usually see at the end of episodes like this, you know, where someone has to apologize to someone else and we're one big happy family. The song has helped Nate realize that it is amazing being a human, and he's taken that for granted right in the face of Steel, who wants it so badly. He promises that from now on, he's going to be very grateful just to be alive as a human being. Then the episode goes, oh right, there was a plot we were working on, wasn't there? Over in the Nameless Dimension, we get a scene that honestly really confused me. At first, I thought it was going to be kind of pointless, Blaze and Roxy just bickering at each other over which one is more effective. By the by, Roxy gets teased by both Blaze and Scrozzle for her flower DNA, when we've seen that it makes her stronger and gives her better weapons. I'm not saying that makes any sense, but it's true. Roxy leaves and Blaze says he knows a way that he can get stronger, taking a step towards the DNA combiner chamber. Scrozzle says that he doesn't think Evox would like that very much, but Blaze says, hey, if it works, they'll both look better. So Scrozzle agrees, and Blaze fires tubes at Evox's feeding tower, taking a bunch of Morph-X. What? I didn't even see that thing until Blaze fired at it.
Excuse me, what?
Joanne tells Commander Shaw that there's a new attack and the Rangers head out there. Blaze says they need more Morph-X than they've gotten so far, so he goes off to get some more while this nameless Robotron deals with the Rangers. They morph and, hey, credit where it's due, they remembered that Nate and Steel used Striker Morphers this time, so kudos. The Robotron says it's learned from its last fight, and it seems to have, handling the Rangers pretty well. But eventually, Nate and Steel get the upper hand. The main three go Beast X mode, Ravi and Zoe seemingly for no reason whatsoever, as Devin just goes straight to his finishing move. But then Blaze leaps in, morphs, and just effortlessly smacks Devin away. They pan up on him slowly, like there's something new about his suit, but unless there's some flourishes that I just didn't notice, I don't think there is. He monologues a bit, which is honestly just using up about another minute of the Sentai footage, and then attacks, easily smacking the Rangers around. For some reason, Blaze is stronger and faster. All he did was absorb some Morph-X, so basically he got upgraded by eating. The Robotron gets excited as Blaze smacks them around some more, saying that it'll finish the Rangers off. And maybe this is why the Robotron is never named on screen. Blaze says that now that he has the Morph-X, he doesn't need this thing's help anymore. He then destroys the Robotron himself. Whoa. More beating the Rangers around, etc., etc. In fact, score an entire victory for Blaze. The Rangers are defeated and Blaze takes the Morph-X and teleports away. Kind of a paltry score if I'm being honest, maybe 4 or 5 large barrels and another 2 or 3 small barrels. Devin reports the loss to Commander Shaw, but there's no time to worry about that as a Gigadrone is inbound. And then there's really no time to worry about that as Nate and Steel start dissolving Back to the Future style. This is the molecular decay that Nate mentioned earlier, and in case I didn't make it clear, this does not make any sense. I don't understand why a body would physically decay because the consciousnesses have been switched. It makes a little more sense if there's no consciousness in the body, but this way I just really don't get it. If you wanted there to be some dramatic reason that they had to switch bodies back at the last minute, just say that the switch would be permanent if you don't reverse it in time. Heck, that makes Steel deciding to go back to being a robot a loving sacrifice made for the good of his brother. So this is a weird Zord fight to be sure. Nate had to go back to the lab to get ready for the body swap. I think they don't really make that clear. Nate does say that he needs to go back to the lab, but it ended coming off more like that was something they were all going to do after the Zord fight. And then Nate just wasn't in the Zord fight at all, which made me think about it again. Also, Steel doesn't use Nate's Wrecker Zord, but instead pilots the Lion Zord, the King Zord. Eventually, they do form the Beast X King Megazord along with Devin's Cheetah Racer Zord in battle mode to fight a Gigadrone that looked like it had nothing to do with the Robotron. Seriously, the Robotron looked like it was made out of a jet plane or something, and then the Gigadrone had a laser gun for an arm. However, it was pointed out to me on Twitter by Toku Elite 555 that indeed these two come from the same episode of Go Busters and are based on each other. Weird. Anyway, Gun/Slash finisher from Devin, and then the Hyper Beam finisher from the others.
Wonder Pokemon is...
In the Nameless Dimension, another little logical misstep. Evox praises Blaze for the Morph-X that he stole, feeding on it from that tower. However, that tower was already full before Blaze stole from it, so even if Blaze replaced the Morph-X that was in it, it shouldn't have looked like anything changed, so there wouldn't have been anything for Evox to praise him for. Anyway, the whole point of the scene is that Roxy is upset that Blaze got praised, and Scrozzle won't tell her how Blaze got stronger. Vitamins, maybe! So she's gonna get to the bottom of it. In the lab, Steel begs Nate for just one more hour. in his body, which seems out of character for him. Steel is childlike in a lot of ways, but he knows now that there's the risk of actual physical harm to both of their bodies if they don't switch back, so it seems a little selfish of him to ask. The Rangers step into the lab and Zoe handles the procedure, switching them back to their own bodies. However, Nate now knows how much being human means to Steel and says he'll keep working on a way to make Steel fully human somehow. Again, we're not just talking about patching the human holes in Chaku. This is creating an entire human body for Steel to inhabit. However, Zoe says no matter what Steel is, he's 100% one of them forever. Let's throw some shades. Episode 16, The Silva Switch. Pros, that musical number, the touching relationship between Nate and Steel, and great lip sync of Linehan's lines to Rodriguez's lips. Cons, another episode that doesn't do a ton for the plot, a useless Robotron, and more confusion of simple details. The music number is a full half a point plus to the episode. But otherwise, this episode is kind of average. Sweet, but average. The Silva Switch gets 3.5 shades out of 5. I find myself with a very Super Ninja Steel-like vibe here. Okay, yes, this episode was cute. Yes, that musical number was astounding, as insane as it was. But this was episode 16. We only have 4 episodes left to go. It was amazing enough to get a 5-part arc for Chaku and the Dino team up, and now we don't even have that much time. A satisfying finale requires an arc. And all we have dangling at this point is that Roxy is upset about Blaze's new power and is going to investigate it. So are we going to get some setup for the final arc of the show next time? I sure hope so, but let's start to find out by taking a peek at the 17th episode of Beast Morphers 2.0, Fossil Frenzy. Zoe accidentally destroys her brother's chance for a scholarship and goes to extraordinary lengths to fix her mistake. Meanwhile, Robo-Roxy upgrades herself even further. Wait a minute, fossils? Are we bringing back the Dino Rangers again? Well, I guess we'll see next time. For now, that's going to do it for another Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button and let me know that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. But my viewers interjected. My viewers interjected. The next episode is something getting into my... So, why is the ice cream machine doing the take again? I don't know. And hey, did you think my mentioning that melting ice cream was just to point out a sight gag? At the Riptide Gym, Nate... I knew I'm gonna mix them up so much. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't get you... I went... While this nameless Robotron deals with the Rangers. Ow! Eventually, they do form the Beast X King Megazord. Yep. Back in the lab, Steel... bleh. However, Steel... farts! Steel is human. However, Nate now knows what...